All right. Good morning and welcome to 5 Minutes or More with Pastor. It is Monday, August 31st, the last day of August. It is a partly cloudy day outside, but overall, fairly nice morning. Cool. Hope you guys are doing well. I know I'm probably a good hour to almost hour and 45 minutes behind where I usually am. Most of you will be understanding in the fact that we're just taking it a little bit slower around the Lugo house over the next couple of days, and uh, just taking a little bit slower, myself included. But I do plan on trying to get work done in the office over the next couple of days and that kind of stuff. And honestly, yesterday debated whether I was even going to do 5 minutes or more this week, but um, I feel fine and figured why not. It's not something that overexerts me or anything, and so yeah, I wanted to get on and possibly be a blessing to somebody, or it's even good for me just to think through these things a little bit in small ways and start my day off this way as well. And so we're in Psalm 104, and I just want to read verse 24. It says, "O Lord, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches." The author of the psalm is not indicated to us at the beginning of the psalm, but many people believe it's David again. And one of the things that the writer of the psalm is doing is he is directing his praise and his honor and his worship to God as creator. This psalm, he's focusing on the creation of God. And you can almost, if you read from the first verse to the end of the chapter, you can almost kind of track along, almost as if the reader of Psalms is tracking along with Genesis, like following along with it. And in verse 24, he breaks out into praise because of God's wisdom in his diversity of animal life and in his attention to detail. Read it again in verse 24. It says, "Oh Lord, how manifold, how diverse are thy works. In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches." And if you've taken any time and listen, math and science was not my thing growing up. But if you take any time to study, especially the animal world, um, God's diversity and detail is unbelievable. And one of the animals that I was actually reading about was the European water spider. It is the only arachnid that lives underwater its entire life. However, even though it lives underwater, it actually breathes oxygen. From my limited studying of it, it basically it builds like this silky um, home. I don't know if it's a cocoon or what you want to call it underwater, and it's where it will live. It's where it will eat. It's where it will mate. It's where it will spend its entire life. But what it will do is, as it approaches the surface of the water, it'll do like a somersault that creates air bubbles, and it has these little um, like hair-like follicles and legs uh, that'll reach out and grab those air bubbles, and it'll hold it over some breathing holes, basically that it has in its abdomen. And what it'll do is it'll pull those air bubbles down into its little underwater home, and it'll just keep doing that process over and over again until it actually creates a larger air bubble inside their dwelling place, and so they won't have to keep going back up over and over again. They can last for a little while, and it's amazing. Like, I would never even think of something like that. And again, if you just took the time, that's one of the great things, best especially about having little boys. They're not so little anymore, but boys, how or just little kids, girls are this way too, little kids, how enamored they are with animals, little caterpillars, or little roly polies, or whatever you want to call them, and they just love to look at them and touch them and play with them, and they're just enamored with bug life and little animals and ants, and just love to watch them. Sometimes I think when we grow older, we lose the wonder of, of our creator. and how much he's in the details. And we know the Bible talks about this. If he cares enough about, you know, this bird over here, then he certainly cares about you, the pinnacle of his creation. And I just want to remind you about that this morning. We talked about it in the book of Esther on Sunday nights as well, but God is shows not only his creativity in creation, but it's a reminder that he is both in and cares about the details. He didn't make an animal life that every animal's basically exactly the same or maybe just a little bit different. I mean, he was so much in the details. And I want you to know that that means that every detail of your life matters to him as well. Again, Psalm 104 and verse 24 says, "O Lord, how manifold are thy works. In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches." Can I tell you something? He made those details in wisdom, and he cares about those details, and he'll care about them in his wisdom. And so I want you to know that even in the details, you can take those things to God, and he created them in wisdom, and he'll care for them in wisdom as well. Hope that encouraged you this Monday, and we'll talk to you later. Have a great day.